What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully you've watched yesterday's video. If you haven't, definitely go check it out. And yeah, let's dive straight into things. So you'll see we got a down close day just as anticipated on dollar, and yeah, moving into Thursday, I am expecting a continuation of that downwards price action, as we do want to see a down close week. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the daily just to help us mark out the very highest I'd be happy for price to trade. And I'm looking at this long wick. I always look at the longest wicks because they are gaps too, and obviously in choppy environments like these there's a lot of wicks and there's only so much we can do with them. But nonetheless, I'm looking at the 50% level and ideally the 25% level. To be honest, I don't even want to look at the 50% level. I'm happy for price to trade to that 25% level tomorrow. Any higher than that and I would be very suspicious. Now mind you, it is non-farm payroll week, and you know there's gonna be times when price wicks crazily, like you'll see when we drop to the low time frames, especially on pound as well. But you'll see how we just wicked up, grabbed all these sell stops, and then came lower. So now that wick, I'm happy for price to trade back into this range. But looking at it on this time frame, actually, let's look at the 50% level, because that's going to be the very highest I'm happy for price to trade. Any higher than that and my bias gets thrown in the bin, and I just simply step away from the charts. Now, I wouldn't recommend trading this week anyway. It's non-farm payroll week, so if you're trading, you're crazy. But nonetheless, there's that 25% level I was talking about, and there's that 50% level. So the 50% level you'll see is resting in a fair value gap. Price can get up there. I'm not saying it can't. It's just that it'd be more supportive to me if price only traded to the 25% level, because then it's not taking out any kind of buy side liquidity, which is supporting our bearish bias off hunting for sell side liquidity, which we also have below here now with these relative equal lows. So yeah, happy for price to trade up to the 25% level. 50% I'll get suspicious, but I'm looking for lower prices nonetheless, in line with what I was explaining yesterday. What's interesting to see is how price turned. Where did it turn? At that Sunday opening price, which I spoke about yesterday as well. Beautiful delivery there, and then you can see how we just tapped into that bearish order block, not even reaching the 25% level, let alone the 50% level, and then we traded to probably like, what's that, an eighth level. I've never studied this, but I can imagine on the lower time frame. So we just have a look out of curiosity. I'll try and explain what I mean. So if it didn't trade to the 25% level of this hourly fair value gap, or the 50% level, or the 25% level, did it trade to any of those levels here? And you'll see we traded into the 25% level of the 25% level, which is the 12.5% level. I'm waffling. Let me continue. So yeah, let's head on to GBP USD. Oh dear. Let's go to the daily. I'm going to delete everything. Now, GBP is the one that's misbehaving. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't be touching this pair. It's hard to analyze just because obviously I want to see price trade higher on pound and then lower on dollar. But after days like this, it's difficult. But nonetheless, we'll see what we can do. I don't have much patience with pound whatsoever. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see it dip below the 50% level of this wick. That would be really disheartening and just stressful to me. Now, don't get me wrong, it can do it and still trade higher. Like, it's not that it's impossible, it's just at this point I don't even know what to expect. But let's go to the 4 hour, and you'll see we wicked higher today, ran out buy stops, and then traded on lower. But you'll see our price is struggling to get lower. And as far as I'm concerned, the fact that we've grabbed sell stops here on a 4 hour basis, the fact that these stops have been grabbed here, price shouldn't need to come back down here. It doesn't need to. If it does, it means that we're on the totally wrong side of the market, and dollar is going to whip lower at levels we can't imagine, which is fine. It's just, we have a bias. There's the 1 hour, and you can see how we're creeping towards that level, and there is a rejection block level on the 1 hour down there. So there's that, and then there's a 15-minute where we have a bullish order block, and again the wick. And then what we can do, if we're happy for price to come down into this wick, and like I said, this is if you were trading it. Anyone trading this pair, God. But there's 50%. This would be you know what? Yeah, I don't want to see price come down here, but if it does, this is the very lowest, and this is where it gets specific. You'll see how that lines up nicely with a nice fair value gap below there. So there is a PD array lining up with higher time frame PD arrays that price just may want to tap into, and we need to allow for that. I'm not calling bottoms, because if it trades through it, so be it. And obviously it's been misbehaving compared to, well, you'll see how euro was behaving, so that's to take into account. But I'm going to get off GBP because I don't really like it. Euro, however, Absolutely gorgeous. Well done, euro. Gold star for you. This is what we would like to see. This is important because dollar closed lower, euro closed higher, but what is GBP up to like that? This is why I don't want to. This is why everything I said on GBP take with the tiniest pinch of salt. Like, honestly, I already have a few levels here on euro as to where I want to see it trade. So there is a breaker on the daily here. I'll just quickly show you. Let's get rid of some stuff. So I'm looking for price to run up into this buy side liquidity and imbalance, so long as dollar's happy to trade on lower. The lowest I'd want to see price trade is this high and into this range. Why? We've got a low, high, lower low, making this a breaker. So any lower than the 50% level of that wick, which is just a fair value gap, any lower than that, and I'll be suspicious, and we're probably on the wrong side, which is fine. So here it's a mitigation, low, high, higher, low, showing willingness to go higher. Or if we just drag it out further, it's now a breaker again. Why? Low, high, lower, low, trade on higher. So this is why I'm paying very close attention to this range and not wanting to see price drop any lower than that. Also, there's a bullish order block opening right there. Let's go to the 1 hour, and you'll see there's a breaker, low, high, lower, low, and look where the volume is. It's residing exactly where I was just talking about. A couple lows down here. Now, this is where it's hard to be specific because technically, and my understanding is that price shouldn't need to come down here at all for us to trade higher tomorrow. Let me say that again. My understanding is that price shouldn't need to come down here at all to trade higher tomorrow because of that right there. Because of that liquidity grab right there, I don't think price should need to come down here. Now, that's not to say it can't. And if it does, it's not the end of the world. It can. But my understanding is that it shouldn't. And it'll be interesting to see whether it does or not. Nonetheless, so long as dollar respects its premium PD areas, which I've outlined, remember saying that 25% ideally, 50% at the most. So long as that aligns with euro, south side liquidity, not even taking out the south side ideally and running into this blue box at the most. So long as that's all in line and it's the right time, then there'll be trade setups available. But let's drop down to the 5 minutes, see what we can find. Bullish order block, interesting. And yeah, so that's everything from me. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, join the mailing list, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.